All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is my second podcast with Parabellum Strategic Group, and I am excited to tell you we've got Wanda Grone with us. I managed to get our solid interview on my second podcast, so we're making it happen. Wanda, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Hi, Richard. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. So you are running for Island County Commissioner Position 1. And
That's South
yeah,
Whidbey and Central Whidbey District.
correct. And that covers, it starts at like Coopville all the way south, right?
It starts up near Penn Cove, which is north of Coopville, and goes all the way down to South Whidbey in the Clinton area. So it covers Coopville, Freeland, Langley, and Clinton areas.
Perfect.
Green Bay. Can't forget Green Bay.
Don't forget Green Bay. There we go. We all love Green Bay.
Yes, we do.
Just got a couple questions for you about the campaign. One is what made you decide to run? Why are you running?
So I will get into this later when we talk about my experience, but I wanted to run because I think there are some changes that should be made in Coopville at the head of local government on the Board of County Commissioners. The County Commissioners is the legislative authority for the county with our form of government, and so they make the policy decisions for the incorporated areas and for areas that affect the cities as well, where the city doesn't have something that supersedes that. I think that the decision-making could be better. There are several examples of just what I think are poor decisions that have been made in the past, I'll say 11 years that I've been there, because there's been a number of people that have come through. But more recently, within the past 3 or 4 years, there are some specific decisions that I feel were not well made. There could be better coordination between local government at the county level and the cities and municipalities, including Langley, Coopville, and Oak Harbor. And my question is, do we really have the right people in the right departments and places at the county? Is there a good set to a skill set match to position? I feel like with my background with finance and accounting, that more decision making should be related to financial implications and a test of whether the decisions were made that provided a positive financial impact. I think the taxpayers expect good public service for the taxes that they pay, and the county and specifically the Board of County Commissioners should be accountable for that. I think I can make a difference. I am a problem solver by nature. People come to me with questions and advice to give them advice, and I think that I can make a positive impact.
Great. So let's go into your experience. You've served in Island County government before. You've been elected to a countywide position twice. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so in my career, it's all been accounting and finance. A long time ago, I had some administrative positions. But once I got my accounting education taken care of, I went back and sat for the CPA exam, and that's been a real plus to my career. I've never had a problem finding a position, and always had challenging positions where I was able to make an impact and fix some problems. So basically 40 years of accounting experience. I came to Island County to accept a job position as Chief Deputy Treasurer in 2011. With Ana Maria Nunez. She hired me. She was the elected treasurer at that time, served for 3 years. Then I filed to run against her and was elected. So she left office and got fired in the process. That was the story, and quite a bit of positive publicity for me got spread when I was running for election because she had fired me. But anyway, so I served 8 years as elected county treasurer and made a lot of positive changes in the department. I learned a lot about the way that local government works, how we interact with the state legislature and the federal government for funding purposes. I took care of all the banking and investments, put a lot of different policies into place, and really made the department more friendly towards business and the general public, as well as other county departments. So I retired in 2022. I had really good staff retention when I was there. People were happy to work there, and I cross-trained everybody so we were more efficient. and really improve things for our business customers. So I retired from that position at the end of 2022, decided not to run again. I thought that I had done as much as I could in that department and wanted to give somebody in the department a chance to be my successor. And so I endorsed my chief deputy to run, and he was elected and took over my position. Following a retirement, I immediately accepted an offer of employment from the city of Langley, which is on South Whidbey, population of 1,100. Langley is very small, but it has very big designs on how to improve things for the public. So they're very involved in a number of initiatives, and all to make life better for the citizens. Island County as a whole is, I think, there are several main industries. The main two being the Navy. The attraction for the rest of the island is tourism, and Langley is a good center of tourism for Island County because of its nature. It's right on the southeast side of the island. It's in a rural atmosphere, and whales visit. They have a Welcome the Whales Festival. They have Mystery Weekend. They have all kinds of events. And the county fair, what used to be the county fair, the Whidbey Island Fair, is now held there at the fairgrounds within the city limits. So anyway, I've been serving there as their finance director for the past almost a year and a half, helping them with some problems that they had with their previous year's audit reports and financial management. So things are getting better. But I've decided that what I want to do when I had this opportunity to run for county commissioner, I decided to go ahead and investigate what would be the steps in running for office, and decided to go ahead and do that. So I think my accounting background will be very helpful in that regard.
So you are a CPA, in fact, and
CPA.
so that means you're better at math than me. Part of being a county commissioner, I believe, is setting the budget for Island County.
Correct.
Now, you have had unique access to that budget as the treasurer for 8 years. So
That's
you are
true.
uniquely qualified to educate us on things that could be fixed. And so I'll jump into the next question. Let's say you get elected.
Let me say something about the budget real quickly, if I could. So the way
Sure.
that the county's set up, the way the statute's set up, the budget is actually under the responsibility of the auditor, the elected auditor. But that was changed at Island County many years ago and moved under the commissioners instead. And I believe that's how it sits right now. So that person is responsible to the board of Island County Commissioners. And yes, as treasurer, handling all the money that came in and wiring money out, it was very obvious and very easy to research to see where the money was coming from and how it was being spent. The accounting system provides various reports for variances and balances and everything else. So yes, the information was all there. If it wasn't right at my fingertips, I knew how to find it.
Yeah, and you did, going back to your work as treasurer, you did a pretty amazing job from everything that I've heard. I remember speaking to James Golder, who's on the hospital board, and just randomly, I asked him, so, hey, what do you think's working great in Island County? What do you think's terrible? He said, well, a lot's terrible, but I'll tell you one thing that's great. He said, our treasurer, Wanda Grone, she saved the hospital from going bankrupt. So
that's the story. We were able to modify our payment of property taxes that the treasurer by law accepts and then holds and then redistributes the following month. But there is an option to distribute it more frequently. So we set up that arrangement with the hospital to give them a weekly remittance of the taxes collected. And that helped them tremendously with their cash flow. They were at the point of closing down. They only had 1 day's cash. They were not going to be able to make payroll, and they already had not made their debt service payments. So with that little bit of help that we were able to give them, they were able to get back on their feet, renegotiate some debt, and I think they're in a much better position today. And a lot of that credit really goes to the board as well. Mr. Golder has a lot of expertise in finance and working with banks. So between that
hats off to the board for saving the hospital, and hats off to you for making it possible to save the hospital. So
little thinking outside the box there.
Well, and that's something that we desperately need in local government, I'll tell you right now. So the other question I have is, when you get elected, you take office early January. what are 3 top priorities you're going to have for the agenda as Commissioner of Island County?
So I think there needs to be better provision of local government services to the taxpaying public. As I said before, taxpayers want to know that their money's being spent in the way that they intend for it to be spent. I think we need better employee retention. We have a constant swinging door for people coming in, getting trained, and then leaving. There are some problems that I know exist with the union contracts. I would take a look at that immediately. And I think we need better coordination between county and cities in terms of grants and funds that are distributed. A lot of that money comes into the county and it's supposed to be shared with the municipalities, but sometimes it's not. There needs to be better coordination. One of the first things I would do is meet with all the department heads, and the department heads in Island County are responsible to, some of them are responsible to the county administrator. That's Michael Jones, the mostly administrative departments. But then the larger departments, public works, planning, and health are responsible directly to the board. And this is where I think some of the problems have been occurring at the county. So I would go, I actually have already met with public works and planning and talked to them about their budget process and what their issues are. And of course, everybody knows that there's a problem with builders getting permits quickly. There's a problem with the health inspector shutting down restaurants before they have a chance to get their problems resolved in a reasonable manner to be open to the public again. And Public Works, I understand, has a new director. I have not met him yet. I spoke with Connie Bowers before she left and got a very firm idea of what they have in mind for the next 5 years. So it's very important because those departments report directly to the board. So the board approves their work plans. It talks about what they're going to do. It approves contracts. I'm sorry, Human Services is the other department that reports directly to the board. The other departments, not the elected official departments, report directly to the county administrator. So the county administrator then reports to the Board of County Commissioners.
Okay, great. So one other thing that you may be involved with as a commissioner, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Finance Committee consists of 3 members, the auditor, the treasurer, and 1 member of the Board of County Commissioners.
Right.
And I think the member of the board alternates, I believe.
Yes.
It's always the chair. So you are uniquely qualified. You are uniquely qualified to serve on that Finance Committee, as you've already done it for 8 years. So that's another definite point in your favor. So I'll ask you, and I think there's a lot, but I'll let you answer the question. What separates you from the incumbent right now, Melanie Bacon?
Well, like I said before, I have a very strong financial and analytical background. That's been my life's work, and I am a problem solver. Somebody has to really understand the way that technology works and the way that, how to build a good process system and policy system. An example is that when agreements come to the board for approval and signature, the board member should have done their homework and read through the whole agreement. They should have researched to find out and made sure that the contract was approved by technology, the information technology department, was approved by the treasurer if there are payment issues involved. And I know for a fact that that wasn't happening, and it's not happening now. Sometimes those agreements come to the board and somebody says, oh, well, I only read the first page, but here, I'll sign this. Well, that's not responsible government. I made sure when I was in the treasurer's office, so many things, contracts that came before the county included payment issues, either receiving money or paying out money. So they had to come through our office. And I'm not even sure that policy is being followed anymore. I kind of don't think it is.
So this is a question that I absolutely have no idea about, but I think you will. One other thing, when we're doing major contracts in business, especially if it's $1 million plus, which I know Island County does big deals, we have an attorney overlook it as well. And we have an attorney, which is our prosecutor. Right. Have they run it through him as well, or?
Well, they're supposed to. I'm not ever sure. I mean, I know that the commissioners asked me when I was there, has this been through legal review? That's part of the contract review process. Mm-hmm. But some of I'm not sure. I've heard that some contracts got approved without treasurer approval, so it's possible they may not have legal approval. But then, I mean, that wouldn't be a very smart thing, because then the county could get sued.
Exactly. That's where my head went when people said they read one page. So,
Yeah. So let me say this: having everything approved by the prosecuting attorney, is a legal requirement.
yeah.
I can say for a fact that I know some contracts were not approved by the IT department, which means that somebody's purchasing software and plugging it into the system without telling the IT department, which could cause all kinds of problems.
Yeah. So, also,
basically not following policy that was established by that board.
yeah, no, I mean, that's definitely a problem that needs to be addressed. So, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't even know that you should not be approving contracts if you have not gone through the entire contract. Especially, I mean, in business, if it's over $1,000, you got to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. They apparently don't do that in government.
The idea is a lot of the board relies on their department heads to have performed that function. And that goes back to my question about, do we have the right people in the right positions?
Yeah. So what I would say, it is on the Board of County Commissioners to make sure that those department heads are accountable. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's a very, very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. So I'll also, a little interesting thing about this race, something that you don't see very often. We have an incumbent who's a Democrat, and she is being primaried by another Democrat. What's going on over there? Apparently, neither party is particularly satisfied right now with Melanie Bacon's performance. So do you have any insight to why that's happening?
I don't know that I can really answer that. I know a lot of people on the South End are very unhappy with the decision of the board to purchase the Harbor Inn using, assign some part of the grant money for human services to the purchase of the Harbor Inn in Freeland by Lehigh. So the contract with Lehigh, the grant money was provided by the county to Lehigh to fund that purchase. The way it was handled wasn't really according to policy. There was no appraisal. When the appraisal finally did come in later, after the money was funded by the county, it was obvious that the actual value of the dwelling or the hotel was much lower than what had been paid. The appraisal was much lower than what had been paid. So again, that's I mean, why was it? I don't know why it was a rush. I as treasurer was ordered by the prosecuting attorney to fund the money, so I had no choice in the matter. That was my job, to do what the board directed. But why was it a rush? Even the original title company that was handling the transaction, said that they had to back out because there had been an injunction filed, but it hadn't gone before the court yet. So prosecuting attorney said it hasn't gone through the court yet. The court hasn't made a ruling, so yes, you have to fund the money. Anyway, bottom line, what was the rush? Again, the commissioners in that case based their decision on human services department head, and I don't know what kind of due diligence was done on the front end, but obviously there are a lot of people that aren't happy with that decision. And it's my understanding. I'm not sure if the facility is even being used right now, so I can't really say as to why the Democrats are running another candidate against an incumbent. I can't answer that question, but there's certainly a lot of speculation out there.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't expect you to have the answer to that question, but I just keep probing everybody, like what is going on. And one thing that I've heard from friends of mine who are Democrats was they are not happy with Melanie Bacon's performance for numerous reasons. That was one of them that constantly gets brought up, especially from South Whidbey and Freeland residents.
Right.
So I guess that was a mistake. You always make mistakes when you're Russian. That's what I tell Vladimir Putin. All right. Well, then my final question to you is, how can we support your campaign? If people are like, yes, I'm on board, I want real experience for my county commissioner, I want to fix what's broken, how do we support your campaign?
I would love to have people volunteer to help me. I can take applications through my website. And by the way, if you have a checkbook that can afford a donation, it would be much appreciated. I'm getting ready to order some signs. My website is www.wandagrone.com, and that's WANDAGRONE.com. There's a link on there to provide a contribution. You can also sign up to host signs, to host meet and greets, wave signs right on the corners right before the elections. And you can volunteer to help doorbell or write letters. All of those things will help the campaign. This is always a grassroots effort. South Whidbey, a lot of it is a very, very rural community. So doorbelling should be done in pairs or with a group. So I would love to have people join me, perhaps help make phone calls. If you love to talk to people on the phone, and I love talking to people, it's one of the things I really like about this job. I miss it in what I'm doing now, but I think the contribution limits are $1,200 per person per election. Mm-hmm. So if you have a couple, you can donate $2,400 for the primary, and then another $2,400 for the general. As well, a business can donate $1,200. If that's separate from the individuals. Any amount of contribution will help. It all shows support. It's all public disclosure. Everything's online, so everybody will know that you donated to help Wanda Grone become your next county commissioner for District Number 1.
All right. Well, Wanda, thank you so much for taking the interview. This is my second podcast, so actually getting a candidate of your caliber is a big coup for me.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming on, and look forward to seeing how your campaign progresses.
Great. So I just want to end with saying I appreciate your support. Thank you, Richard, for having me on today. And remember, I am the no-nonsense candidate, only common sense.
There you go. Well, common sense is sorely needed in this state, in this country, and in this county. So thank you so much, Wanda. We will chat again. Promise me if we see you in the general, we'll do this again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All righty. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.